What's up, you guys? So today's video I'm going to be giving you guys a bunch of online shopping tips that are not only going to save you money but make you a lot more confident when shopping online, because it can be tough sometimes when you can't actually feel and touch the garment and see how the sizing works and see how it's going to flatter your own body. So these tips are going to be super helpful. So before we jump into the video, make sure you are following me on Instagram. My handle is just at Alegria Jimenez. Super simple, super easy. So once you've done that and subscribed, we can jump in to the video. So tip number one is to get familiar with your materials. So all you have to do is go through your closet, pick out some of your favorite pieces, and look at the tags to see what they're made of. Some items are going to be like 100% cotton, but a lot of them are going to be blends of something. So it's going to be like 50% this, 50% that, 2% this, and 80% that, whatever it may be. Look at that just so that way you're familiar with the items that you like, and do the same thing with the items that you don't really like. So for example, this top right here is super cute and I really like how it feels, but the wrinklage on this item is a nightmare. I know that this is like supposed to be wrinkled here, but when I actually wear it, this has just like wrinkles all up on it, and it's like a big pain, and truly I wouldn't really want to purchase any more items in this material. So this item is 100% rayon, so I already know that I may want to stay away from items like this online. So you can just go, of course it'll have all the information on the garments online, and look at the materials. And this material here is actually feels very similar, and it gives a very similar look. It does have that kind of like texture to the material, just like this one. I will say that it is a little bit softer, but this is made of an entirely different material, which this is actually 100% cotton, but I can just kind of tell this is like a nicer made cotton. So I mean, cotton for sure is like always like a go-to. It's always like a really good material, but I know that I really love this shirt, and even though it does have like this texture and kind of gives the same vibe as the other one, it is a lot more wrinkle proof and a lot more low maintenance, which is something that I really appreciate. Here's another example. So these both are just plain black rib tops, but the materials on them are completely different, and I would pick something of this material over this material any day. This material is a lot more sturdy and it kind of holds its shape a lot better. It's a lot more flattering, whereas this one here is a lot more thin and see-through, and it does not hold its shape very well at all. So then you're just going to want to look at the materials. So for example, this one is 100% rayon, which how funny is it that both of these items are both rayon, and I actually really am not a fan of the material, but for two different reasons. Now if I go shopping online and I see that an item that I might be iffy about is made of rayon, then I know that I'm probably not going to like it and I should probably not order it. Whereas this black rib top is made of 70% rayon and 30% nylon. So that 30% of nylon really does make this a lot nicer. It does give it that nice stretch and kind of helps it to keep that shape a lot better. Of course, like I said, this cotton is going to vary from another just like plain cotton tee. By being familiar with the fabrics that you do and don't like is really going to help you to avoid purchasing more items in materials that you're just not a fan of. The next tip is to look for reviews. So when you're shopping on places like Forever 21 or something like that, you may just be limited to the reviews that they have on their actual website. But if you are looking to buy something that is offered at several different retailers, this is when you can really use this. For example, if you're looking to purchase maybe a pair of shoes from Steve Madden and you're on the actual Steve Madden website, there may or may not be too many reviews on there. So it's a good idea to plug in that exact name onto Google, and maybe retailers like Nordstrom or Macy's will pop up, and those retailers might have a lot more reviews on the actual item, and that way you're going to be able to make a better judgment about whether or not you want to actually purchase the item, unless of course you've already like tried them on and felt them in person or something. But if you are just looking at something online and you think you may or may not want to buy it, definitely look at other websites for reviews on that particular item. So the next tip also goes along with shopping around at different retailers, and this is to look for the highest cash back. So I'm sure by now everybody has heard of like Ebates and Honey, which are basically free programs that you can sign up for, and you pretty much just get like money back on the orders that you make anyways. So for example, like Nordstrom basically has like no cash back, I believe, through like Ebates, but I'm pretty sure it's either like Saks or Bloomingdale's or one of those like super high-end brands that I've never bought anything from. Those places do sometimes have like, I've seen up to like 10% when I'm just like browsing online. So if you're gonna buy something that's available at both retailers, of course you're gonna want to buy it at the place that you're gonna get 10% cash back on, because you're gonna be saving a little bit of money there. So this next tip is for all my students out there, or even if you have like friends that are students or sisters that are students. You'll be surprised how many retailers offer student discounts. ASOS, Missguided, Topshop, there are a ton. Just like Ebates, there's like a website for students and it's called Uni Days, and you basically get like exclusive student discounts on like a ton of different places. Also, I have noticed like around like college universities, a lot of times like even like the fashion stores will give like student discounts, so it's always a good idea to ask, because you'll be surprised how many places do offer at least like a 10% discount, which always helps. So the next tip is sort of to get electronically involved. So following your favorite retailers on like Instagram and signing up for their email newsletter, because they're always like announcing sales, or they might have like special promotional codes in the email newsletter. But I will say that nothing is more annoying than your personal emails being bombarded with a bunch of like promotional emails. So what I do like to do is have a separate email where I send all of those sorts of emails to. So instead of having to look through my personal emails and just see a bunch of like Ulta, Nordstrom, and Forever 21 all throughout there, I have them in a separate email. So when I do want to maybe go shopping for something, I can look through those emails and see if maybe I have like a 20% off coupon or something like that. So that way it's just not mixing in with my personal life and tempting me to shop even more. And it is always a good idea to follow your favorite retailers on like Instagram and stuff, because they will announce their like a bunch of like their big sales that they may be having, or even like little sales that they may be having. You can kind of keep updated on there. So the next tip is to get really familiar with your favorite retailers' sale patterns. So for example, Victoria's Secret has their semi-annual sale twice a year, so does Nordstrom, and Missguided always has like random 50 to 60% off sales. ASOS will sometimes do like a 20% off sale. So just kind of being familiar with when your favorite retailers have those sales is really going to help to save you a little bit of money, because you can tell yourself like, I think I'm gonna wait 1 or 2 weeks and see if this item goes on sale. That way you can know when the best times are to shop at those certain retailers and save you a little bit of money. So the next tip is to really zoom in on the products online. Do not be afraid to really inspect an item before you decide to purchase it, because there can be a lot of dead giveaways for something that might look a little bit more cheap in person. So you're really gonna want to zoom in onto like the hemlines. Like for example, this top that I have right here, it was super inexpensive. I want to say it was like $5 or something from Shein, but you can see, I mean, obviously they may not have like these little frayed bits online, but you can see like just even right here how the line where it goes is just not really that clean. But I mean, I'm honestly like, I'm okay with that. For this top at least, it was super cheap, but you can kind of zoom in to kind of decide whether or not you want to buy that, because I feel like for me with the $5 shirt, that's okay. But if I was gonna pay $30 for this shirt and it had a bunch of little stuff like that, I may decide that I don't want to go with the actual item. So one of the final tips that I have for you guys is to look up different people styling them. The beauty about having online shopping is that you could easily plug in the exact name onto Google and see if anyone else has styled it and see how other people are wearing it. So if you like the way that they're styling it and the way that they're putting it together, then you will likely like the item yourself and hopefully get a lot more use out of it. Because even if I might see an item and really like it, and then I look up people styling them, I may not be a fan of how it all kind of looks together, put together in an outfit or something like that. So always looking that up is super helpful too. It'll kind of give you an idea of how much use you're going to get out of that particular item. Last tip that I have for you guys is kind of more of a bonus tip than anything, since it is not really pertaining to online shopping, but more so bargain shopping in person. So if you guys have seen basically any of my previous videos, you guys know my obsession with TJ Maxx and Marshalls, because I find so many amazing things at such a great deal. But I do have like my go-to Marshalls and TJ Maxx's that are not necessarily the closest ones to me. So don't be afraid to drive out to maybe a nicer area, because the Marshalls and TJ Maxx's that are in kind of a nicer area do tend to have more high-end inventory, because the people around there are just a lot more likely to buy those certain items, which there's nothing wrong with like lower end stuff, because like, let's be real, like that's basically what my closet consists of. But if you are looking to buy something that's a little bit more high-end, definitely check out the discounted retailers in like fancier areas, because you will be surprised what amazing things that they have there. So that's not to say that the only Marshalls that carry like really nice items are the Marshalls in like super nice areas, but I will say that my favorite Marshalls carries a ton of stuff from like Splendid and Free People and like Blank NYC, whereas the Marshalls that's close closest to me does not have even like a little bit of that stuff. So definitely try out different Marshalls and kind of figure out which ones are your favorite and which ones cater to your own personal taste the best. Alright, so that is actually the last tip that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully learned a couple of different tips that'll help you out when shopping online and just in general. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.